Teyana Taylor's world seemed to stop the moment her daughter stepped up to that witness stand. The courtroom was silent, every breath held, every eye on Junie. No one expected a child to speak with such heartbreaking honesty, and when she did, it cracked something inside everyone sitting in that room. This wasn't just about two celebrities in a legal battle. This was about a little girl caught between a love story gone wrong and a war neither parent ever imagined. It all began with a love that felt picture-perfect. Teyana and Iman Shumpert were goals. The red carpet moments, the music videos, the shared interviews full of laughter and inside jokes, it all made people believe in black love again. But somewhere between the filtered photos and the curated captions, things started to fall apart. Iman's NBA career was rocky, full of injuries and trades. Teyana was building her empire, directing, choreographing, acting, wearing more hats than anyone could count. And while the world saw unity, behind closed doors there were arguments, cold silences, and growing distance. The whispers began slowly. Rumors of Iman cheating. Stories of Teyana crying backstage before shows. People close to the couple said they barely saw each other anymore. Then came the quiet announcement of their separation. No drama, no public mudslinging. But that calm exterior didn't last long. It was only months later that legal documents surfaced, revealing Iman had filed for more custody of Junie. That's when the gloves came off. Teyana responded fiercely, claiming Iman had been absent for long stretches and emotionally unstable when present. Friends say she kept meticulous records, missed birthdays, unread texts, canceled visits. Iman, on the other hand, insisted he just wanted to be a bigger part of Junie's life. But the court wasn't convinced by either side's lawyers. The judge made a decision that shocked everyone. Junie would testify. She was only a child, yet that day she walked into the courtroom holding her mother's hand, clutching a stuffed animal. The judge cleared the room of press, but insiders couldn't stop talking about what happened next. Junie, with tears rolling down her cheeks, reportedly said, "I just want mommy and daddy to stop yelling." That single sentence changed everything. Iman, sitting stiffly at his table, reportedly buried his face in his hands. Witnesses say his shoulders shook. Whether from shame, sadness, or regret, no one could be sure. Teyana sat frozen, her hands clutched tight in her lap. She blinked fast, holding back tears, reaching for a tissue, but refusing to break down in front of her daughter. It was one of those moments where even the judge had to pause. A 10-minute recess was called, and court officials said it was because of the emotional weight in the room. But it wasn't just a pause, it was a reset. When everyone returned, the energy had shifted. Iman looked different, exhausted, broken. Teyana's team held tight, but you could see the cracks. And Junie? She was taken home by her grandmother, shielded from the cameras outside. The aftermath was instant. TMZ ran with the headline, "Junie testifies, tears in courtroom." Instagram exploded with court sketches showing Iman wiping his face and Teyana staring blankly ahead. TikTok had reenactments, fan theories, and deep dives into everything from their wedding video to old interviews where Teyana joked about Iman's jealousy. Fans were divided. Some flooded Teyana's comments with support, calling her a strong mother protecting her peace. Others started sympathizing with Iman for the first time, pointing out how painful it must be to hear your child cry over your mistakes. But what no one could agree on was whether this custody war had gone too far. Teyana had always said she kept things private for Junie's sake. But now, with her daughter's words public, the floodgates were open. People began asking hard questions. Was it right to let a child testify? Was either parent thinking about Junie first? And what about the rumors that Iman had tried to settle things out of court, only to be shut down by Teyana's team? One thing was clear, this wasn't just a legal issue. It was emotional, deeply personal. And the world was watching. Outside the courtroom, Teyana's mother was seen pulling her daughter into a long hug. They didn't speak to the press. They didn't need to. Meanwhile, Iman's mother was photographed looking stunned, whispering something no one could hear. Sources claimed she later told a friend, "She's just a child. She shouldn't have to choose." But the court had forced a choice between structure and love, between schedules and emotional safety. Teyana's lawyers argued that Iman's presence had been inconsistent at best, toxic at worst. They brought up alleged mood swings, shouting matches, and even therapy notes detailing Junie's anxiety before visits. Iman's team countered with video evidence of daddy-daughter dates, birthday gifts, and heartfelt letters he'd written to Junie. The judge listened, but the only voice that seemed to matter now was Junie's. Her testimony painted a picture that wasn't black or white. It was messy, emotional, and confusing, just like real life. She missed her daddy. She loved her mommy. She wanted peace. And in trying to give her that, both parents may have torn each other apart. After the hearing, Iman didn't speak to reporters. He walked past them, sunglasses on, lips tight. But one camera caught him whispering, "I just want my baby back." Teyana didn't say anything either. She posted a cryptic IG story that night, "Protecting my peace, at all costs." Then came the whispers, the kind that travel fast in Hollywood circles and hit harder in family court. Word is, Iman might be preparing to appeal the judge's next ruling, expected as soon as next week. Some insiders claim he's pushing for joint custody, while others say his legal team is steering him toward a therapeutic visitation schedule. That would mean supervised visits, counseling, and a slow rebuild of trust, with professionals watching every step. But if you ask people close to Teyana, they say this isn't about revenge. It's about protection. She's not keeping Junie from him, a source said firmly. She's keeping Junie safe. And that line alone set social media ablaze. Because for every fan hoping for a co-parenting fairy tale, there are twice as many rooting for Teyana to stand her ground. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, it's ice cold. Teyana and Iman haven't spoken directly in weeks. Their only communication flows through attorneys, filed in legal jargon and court motions. The bond that once looked unbreakable, now reduced to paperwork and legal fees. And while the internet speculates, those closest to them see the toll it's taking. Teyana is exhausted. Mentally, emotionally, completely drained. But she's moving forward the only way she knows how, by throwing herself into the work. Studio sessions that run past midnight. Dance rehearsals that leave her drenched in sweat and silence. New acting projects, brand deals, photo shoots. All of it, fuel for her focus, armor for her pain. Iman, on the other hand, has disappeared from the spotlight entirely. No cryptic Instagram posts. No likes. No subtle messages. Just digital silence. And people close to him say it's not just PR, it's personal. He's spiraling. Conflicted, trying to figure out how something so solid fell apart so fast. Trying to figure out how to be a father when the court now holds the map. The ruling is coming any day now, and everyone's holding their breath. Will Junie split her life between two homes? Will every visit come with therapists and monitored handoffs? Or will one parent walk away with full custody and the other reduced to scheduled check-ins and FaceTime calls? The truth is, the public may never know what really went down. The private details, the arguments, the accusations, the hurt that spilled beyond Instagram, those stay behind closed doors. But there's one thing the world does know. A little girl stood in a courtroom. A little girl, caught between two headlines, two attorneys, and too many emotions for her young heart to hold. And when asked what she wanted, she didn't talk about who she wanted to live with. She didn't pick sides. She just said, "I want the yelling to stop." And in that one sentence, she said what both parents couldn't. This was never about money. Never about fame or public image. Not really. This was about a child. Her peace. Her heart. Her future. So now, the world watches and waits. The next chapter is coming, and it's going to define more than just custody. It's going to define what healing looks like after the public eye has picked every piece of you apart. Because in the end, when the lawyers step back and the cameras shut off, only one voice matters. And it's not Teyana's. Not Iman's. It's Junie's. And all she wants is peace.